Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us on another episode, Walk the Talk Style. And on this episode, I'm joined by Buri Son. Buri, thanks for joining us, mate.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about some new terminology that has come to Australia, and a lot of agents aren't even aware or familiar with this terminology. And I think it's something, Buri, you would agree, we absolutely need to send the message out there far and wide, because every agent should understand this terminology. Or start to learn more about it, because we've seen a huge shift in real estate industries globally with this terminology, but it hasn't been something that's been traditionally known here in Australia. But it's here, it's on the shores. We've brought it here, and it's something we're very fortunate to have within our model EXP. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. And with that, we're going to talk about what it's done for Buri in his life as well, and how it's changing things for him. So this episode, we're not walking the talk, we're podcasting the talk and sitting down. So firstly, the terminology we're going to talk about today, folks, is a term known as cap or capping. So Buri, before you came over to EXP, did you have any knowledge or understanding of the meaning cap or capping as an agent, real estate agent?
No, I didn't. I never heard of it before. So
yeah.
Prior to me coming over, I think we're only under the impression that we were on a 50-50 split with the principal.
Yep.
And that was one of the reasons why it made me go, I want to leave the industry just for that, or start my own company where I can just make 100%. Because, we real estate agents, we work really hard, just to, get the listing first and then sell it and negotiate. There's a lot of work to it.
Yep.
And to only get 50% out of all of that, well, you got to factor in GST as well, so you're probably at 40%.
Yeah,
that makes you just want to leave the industry. Go, I'm making bugger all.
Yeah, and to a lot of consumers out there that see a real estate agent and what they pay them in a commission, they think that's a significant amount of money, which it is. But we're a very expensive industry as well, though. There's a lot of costs that come out of that, and as you mentioned, that might look like the total commission that you're paying the real estate agent, but when you take out GST, then you take out any split that they've got with the business owner or the franchise as such, then you take out any running costs. So if they're paying a wage to a support or PA person, car, mobile, rego, insurances, all that good stuff. And then not to forget about the tax man, who's going to take about 37 cents in your dollar there afterwards. So really 50% isn't a genuine 50% when you look at the cost analysis there with the deductions to come off your bottom line. But so capping, coming from a traditional model as you did, mate, it wasn't a term that was talked about, was it?
No, I don't think they ever mentioned it at all. I think it's very new in Australia. I almost think that we're the only one that does have a capping system. In America, it's very, very big. I mean, there's different other agencies that have capping, and it's very used amongst the Americans over there. But in Australia, I believe, I think we're the only one that does have capping. I'm not too sure. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, there's very select few, mate, and that's what I'm most excited about. And I think this is talk we need to have more so as agents, because you do a lot of legwork, mate. You do, absolutely, with bringing in the business, listing it, managing, nurturing it, and then transacting it. And to part ways ongoingly throughout your anniversary or throughout the rest of your real estate career. I call it the talk of being penalised on performance. The more you produce, the more you're penalised, and it shouldn't be the way. So coming from your previous traditional office, there was never any talk about the word cap or capping, yeah?
No, never.
Cool. And that's pretty much the case with most real estate agents that I talk to. When I talk to them and mention cap, at what level of GCI do you write when you cap? What does that mean, Chris? At what level of GCI do you have to write, Buri, until you reach capping of your income? What's that mean? So let's jump into it, Buri. In a nutshell, now that you know capping, because you've recently capped, you're a capper, EXP capper. What is cap or capping known as?
Basically, once you write $100,000 in gross commission, you get 100% from there onwards of your commission.
Yep.
So initially with us, we're on 75% to 25%. So sorry, 75% to the agent, 25% to EXP, up until $100,000, and after that we go on to 100%. And it's phenomenal once you cap. It's next level. It's like a turbocharger to your lifestyle.
So just reiterate to me. Once you're at $100,000 in gross income earnings as a real estate agent, you pay 0% externally as a royalty As a franchise, model, or network fee, you keep 100%.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep.
Phenomenal. And most agents we know out there are generally writing in excess of 100,000 in gross commission. Sure, there's those that are under that amount, and that's fine too. Like if you earn up to 100,000 in gross commission, you know, if you write $100,000 on the nose, you're going to take home 75,000. The real advantage with what we do in our model is you'll never pay more than $25,000 out of whatever you write in total to EXP as a network and as a model.
Well, I feel like even if we didn't, let's say if we didn't have the capping system in EXP, we're still on a high split anyway. It's not like off the top and then split with your boss. It's just 75% to us and 25% to EXP. Even if we just sat on that, that's amazing already, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, we get the capping system as well. So once you hit your 100K GCI, you cap, and everything from there onwards is yours, straight into your bank account. It's amazing. It's just phenomenal, really.
So let's just do the numbers. If you write 100,000 in gross commission and you don't cap, you'll still keep $75,000 as an agent.
Yeah, that's
if
correct.
You write $200,000 as a gross income as a real estate agent, you will cap at 100,000. So you'll be on 100% commission split between 100,000 to 200,000 gross commission. And it means if you write 200,000 gross, you're going to take home 175,000 of that 200. What about if you're $1 million agent? Well, you got 900 grand at 100%. 900 grand at 100%, which means if you write $1 million, you will take home after your gross commission of $1 million, $975,000.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, how much that would change a $1 million producer's life, but if you work off the average $1 million produce agent, real estate agent, they're generally on around about a 60% split thereabouts before any royalties or franchise fees, but that will equate to around about a difference of $400,000 per year.
Oh, big difference, huge difference.
If you're on about 60% split, folks, and you're writing about $1 million plus or thereabouts, right, per year, and you're on a 60% split thereabouts, with our model, it's going to equate to about a $400,000 difference in 1 year. Times that by 10 years, that's a significant amount. That's life-changing. So whilst we're on this topic of being life-changing, you've come into EXP. Within 6 months, Buri Son has capped. He's a capping EXP agent. He's written $100,000 in income. What's life been like for you at 100%, mate?
Life-changing, I can say. In 6 months, I'm about to go for my house. That's absolutely amazing. It's just changed my life and perspective where I can relax a little bit more and not stress about income too much. And I know that I can be the breadwinner of my family. My family's more looked after. I don't have to be more stressed. And just the fact that in 6 months I'm going for my house already is phenomenal. And I've never really made I would never really worked any job that's made 6 figures before. And for me to come over and just do it in 6 months, even myself, I'm shocked over that. Like sometimes I look back and step back and go, how did I do that? But it's all real, it's all happening. And I think the next year is going to be even better for me in terms of my career aspirations and stuff like that. Because how I've timed that I'm going to try and roll over a few settlements into my next anniversary year so I can cap earlier. That way then I'll be on
the
100%.
Race to the cap. The race to the cap, brother, isn't it? It's like get there as quick as you can. Like Lee Martinuzzi up in Queensland, as we know, he capped within 6 weeks, wrote 100 grand. So for 46 weeks of this next year, his anniversary, he's on 100%. That's why I always say, get to 100%. Because as an agent, when you get to 100%, not only does it change your life, but there's an old saying I always say, when you keep more, you can do more. So whether that's putting more into your prospecting, whether it's putting money in the bank, as you are, mate, you're putting more money in the bank because you're earning more, so you're 100%. Buying that house. You can come out with the big guns when the times get tougher, because don't get me wrong, the market's been great, right? Agents are relishing in this market. Turnover's really quick. Days on market are a lot less, but I've always been mentored and taught to say, put good money away in good times so you can come out with the big guns in the bad times.
Yeah, that's correct.
So when the market shifts and changes and tightens up, you've got more flexibility to invest in yourself and your business and your prospecting and your marketing, because you're just simply keeping more. It's mathematics 101.
Yeah.
So
I was in a situation where I think 3 months into EXP, my car blew up, my missus' car blew up, and we're in a very bad situation. But then once the settlement started rolling in, now I wasn't even capped yet, but I was only at a 75% split. I was able to take care of those situations straight away. And then once I started having the listings rolling in, my pipeline was building up, and I started settling more properties and heading towards now capping. Well, I've already capped now. I was able to bank up enough money for a deposit to go and get a really nice loan to buy a house. So I mean, like I said, to me, it's absolutely life changing, because what I've achieved in 6 months would have taken me years to do in my old establishment. And not to say there's anything bad about that, but I'm just saying that the numbers work out like that. If you get where I'm coming from.
Mate, what I love about seeing it firsthand is, from the stressed out, burnt out, unhappy, miserable guy that I've seen to now, like before. And I see this in so many agents, right? I know it, because when they're only taking 50, 60% of what they're generally bringing in and writing and producing, there's a lot of stress around that, because you're worrying about the next deal, the next transaction, the next sale, because you still got your overheads coming in.
That's it,
but you're still paying a lot off the top. And you just see agents aren't present. It's almost like they're in this agent apocalypse zombie mode. And you're at that stage, whereas now seeing this guy in front of me, t-shirt, cap, pretty chilled, relaxed, even your pace, the way that you talk, you've just stepped it back. You're at a nice, comfortable level of being really approachable and talkative, and a greater communication. That stuff's invaluable. It's not just about the money, it's about the personal self-growth and development in yourself, because instead of having to try and sell 5 a month, you could sell 2 a month and make just as much as a traditional former establishment that you're in if you had to write 5 deals a month. Do you know what I mean? So you're more present with your family, your home life, your clients, and you're really focusing on a good quality. But it also means at 100%, man, if you go into a listing and you're up against a traditional business owner, you can compete. You can compete with them. Whatever their offering is, you can compete, if not more, because you don't have the abundance of overheads that they're carrying each and every month to make ends meet. So
well, I'm saying that, like, I think our competitors who who don't have capping in their system, they'd have to charge double what we're charging in order just to make the same amount as we're making. So, and then when you factor in all the overheads that they have, they might have staff and all this that they have to pay for. Sometimes they don't even walk away with much once they sell the property. So I do feel for some of the agents out there, because they, on paper they're writing heaps, they got heaps in GCI, but in their bank account they probably don't really have much. And it was a really shock to me when I found out that there's a lot of agents who are actually struggling out there, like living paycheck to paycheck. I was like, well, you guys been in the industry for like 10 years and you still, not to be negative or anything like that, but you still haven't made it yet. It doesn't make sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and that's why we've talked about gross GCI, because that's a common terminology in our industry. But I actually now talk with agents like yourself about NCI, net commission income, because GCI it means nothing. It's what goes on your group certificate. Okay, it's what agents generally get awarded on and get up on the podium and the stage and the flashy lights and the glitz and glamour. That's great, but that's because your royalties that you're paying up towards the top is all based on the gross income that you write and produce. Whereas net income, I want to know what you're putting in your household bank account every week. How much are you saving every fortnight? Like, how much is your savings or reinvesting position improving to reinvesting into you, your business, or your family lifestyle, buying a home, whatever. So you're right. There's so many agents that on the outside look like they're producing massive numbers, but I'm sure if you dive deep into what they're actually putting into their bank account every month, or reinvesting into themselves through property or shares or crypto or anything like that, it's probably nothing. Sorry, mate.
NFTs.
It's probably nothing, and that's not saying they're all like that, but it's just getting better with your money. And the only way to get better with your money is the net position, not the gross. It's all about the net position.
Yeah.
So if any agents are watching this right now, right, and they're on 50%, they're on 60%, maybe they're even on 70%, and they're curious about capping, what would be your words of advice to that agent? Because you were in that situation, you know, you were with something external to EXP, you weren't familiar with EXP, so you've seen both sides now. What would be some words of encouragement?
Oh, I'd love to sit down and run the numbers through with you guys. Whoever's watching this and want to know more, happy to sit down and run the numbers and compare what you're currently writing and what you could make with the EXP model as well. It's very, very easy to work out, and I think you'd be very surprised at what you take home by the end of it as well. Yeah, that's it.
So you got a formula, you can plug their numbers in, and you can take a direct comparison between what they're on now as a split versus what it looks like as with EXP potentially, and what it could be achieved if they cap or capping.
Yeah, maybe just ask yourself as well, like, what will an extra $100,000 do for your life? Because for me, it changed my life completely. And we're only talking about the average $200,000 performers. You know what I mean? Not you don't have to be a multi-million-dollar real estate agent, but for this changed my life, and I think it will change yours as well. Another thing I want to touch base on is from com only position to also Deborah retainer. I think going com only was one of the best decisions I've ever made, because not only does it motivate me to go and do more deals and stuff like that, but at the same time, there's no one putting pressure on me to go, you got to do the calls, you know, you've got to do the door knocks. You know, I prospect when I want and whenever I want, and I feel free and I feel happy. And when I speak to people, it comes across that way. So yeah, going com only was the best decision I ever made. It's if you're entrepreneur, if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, then definitely EXP is for you. That's all I can say.
So we've talked about the financial aspect, the benefit there, how people can get in contact with you to do a direct comparison, backing yourself in com only. That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, mate, because the only way to back yourself in truly with this industry is to back yourself and go all in, go com only. At EXP, we've got the advantage. If you want to be a PAYG commission-only agent, you can do that. Buri is remaining that way at the moment because of finance reasons with the home loan that's coming. But you can go as a PTY LTD, as I am. I'm a business external to EXP, but they take care of everything for me. So there's two options. If you've got any questions about that, just reach out. Why didn't you join EXP sooner? So all the numbers stacked up when you were looking at it, right? You knew they stacked up. I know this story. But for the viewers that are watching, like, why didn't you jump in sooner? What was the hesitation?
It was fear, brother. Fear. You just, at the time I had security. Well, I thought I had security. But yeah, once I came over, it was, the grass is definitely green on the other side. Like I come over, I burn that bridge. I'm never going back. This is the best thing for me. I'm finished. I'm happy with where I am. But yeah, definitely was fear. The fear drummed into to us because there was people who didn't really understand the XP model, and they said negative things about it too. But I'm here to say that everything that you preached, that, you know, the 100%, the icon, the rev share, everything was all real. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got shares in the business now just from settling my first property. That was amazing. Yeah.
You know what I love? The people that are most opinionated about what we're doing haven't ventured to the other side like we have, because the only way to validate the truth in something is having walked the talk or lived on both sides, which we have. You know, I've been a business owner on the former side of a traditional franchise. You've worked for a franchise. We've seen that side. And I've seen that side for a long time, mate. Like, I'm talking over 10 years. Then I've come over to this side and I've seen this side. And both sides have some great positive points. Absolutely. Both sides have some strengths and weaknesses. No business is perfect, and we don't sit here and say our model is perfect. We adapt, we pivot really quickly if we need to make changes, because we're not like a tree stuck in the ground like a bricks and mortar business. But, you know, it's interesting that a lot of agents I talk to have opinions about it, but actually haven't experienced both sides. You know, they're very much biased because of one side and only experiencing. So all we ask is, guys and girls, if you're watching this, and you want to explore 75 or what 100% looks like for you if you can, reach out, but just keep an open-minded about things. That's truly the entrepreneurial spirit here in Australia, is be open-minded. Don't let small poppy syndrome from others shadow yourself, because people can be like that in our industry. You know, want you to do well, Buri, just don't do better than me in life. Whereas it should be, mate, I want you, this guy on screen in front of me, to do better than me. Right? Because if he does, well, there's investor interest obviously in both of it for us, because you earn more, you keep more, you make more. But obviously I get a little bit of revenue every year off of what you generate too, as a passive thank you income. But when you talk about fear, mate, was that mainly to do with external fear pushed on you about the model, or self-doubt in fear and belief in yourself? Or
I'd say a bit of both. You do get the fear of, or at the beginning when I first joined, EXP was still small in Adelaide, so we weren't that big yet. So everyone's always saying, oh, the brand, you know, the brand's not that big and they're probably not going to make it. The next 6 months are going to fail, blah, blah, blah.
Which I love, because we're 80,000 agents just about globally. So I don't know how big any other brand is in Australia in comparison, but I'd imagine it's a fraction off.
People always say. But once I jumped over, it didn't matter because I was a sales associate anyway. And once I jumped over, I've figured out that people will only do business with you if they know, like, and trust you. They couldn't care what brand you represent. If they know, like, and trust you, they're going to do business with you. If they know you're there to genuinely help them, they're going to do business with you. If you're going to be there to genuinely help people, they're going to do business with you. So just don't go around screwing people over, giving yourself a bad reputation, because a lot of real estate agents out there that do have a bad reputation for going out there just chasing the commission. You got to go out there and help people. And I guarantee you, just like myself, in a matter of 6 months, you can cap. I've got the formula for how to do it. I know how to do it. I can help you, get to where I did as well, with whether it be social media or just helping you prospect with those correct scripts and dialogues, and how we do the property appraisals as well. We've got all the formula. We're here to help you, and we can definitely do it, even if you're an associate. All right.
So on that point, mate, and last question, I promise. I just love this stuff, mate. The vibe's good here.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm an agent watching externally, right? And I've been watching EXP, right? And I'm in a brand and a franchise network, and I've been curious, but maybe there's external influences that are making me fearful to make that jump. What would be the benefit for me to reach out to you, and what can you do if you sponsored me to EXP to help my business with that transition?
Well, I own the side business Lead Launchers, which is a social media company as well. So we can actually brand you into your area as well to be the most #1 and known real estate agent in your area. So from 0 to 3 months, we can get you up and running and help you just become the #1 person there through social media, live videos, as well as YouTube, all of the above. Plus, we've got a little bit of a lead generation thing that's coming on board as well. We've done a bit of lead generation here and there as well, but then we're going to get some more lead generation in terms of home sellers, which is in the works. I don't want to speak too much about it, but we can definitely have all this implemented for you as well.
Yeah, which is what I love, mate, because I had somebody reach out to me, and I said, what made you curious about our model? And they said, well, obviously the commission structure is very favorable and lucrative, but I'm seeing you guys everywhere on socials, and I need help in that space. So I said, well, the perfect sponsor for you is Buri, because he's the master of social media domination and lead generation and becoming the area expert in that area where you want to specialize in. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars letterbox dropping. Sure, you can do that. But this person just wanted support and assistance with their social profile and domination with lead generation. And from day one, mate, you've been absolutely selfless in helping them, bringing in not always appraisals and listings, but at minimum some quality data, that you're helping build their database. But there's leads opportunities in there as well. So maybe if you're in a franchise or a different model and network and you want to talk about capping, get in contact with this guy. He's lived it, he's breathed it, he's experienced both sides of the fence, ladies and gentlemen, as well, which is important. So he can share with you the experience transparently from both sides. But if you need some support and you want to take your lead generation, social domination business to the next level, this is the guy you want to be partnering with. This is who I would be aligning you with. Buri Son, thanks for joining us on this episode, Walk the Talk, mate series. I really appreciate your time. Love hearing about your story from less than $50,000 per annum not so long ago to already doubling your income just in 6 months. My bet, mate, in your next anniversary, you're going to cap within the first quarter. That's my hot tip.
No, that's what I'm gunning for. Definitely gunning for that.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Until the next episode, folks, it's bye for now.
Thanks, guys.